Hello people, welcome to day 3 of lockdown. It's not looking good today, unfortunately. I miss you all. I hope you're enjoying learning online. This is the last chapter before we start part 2 of the book, so I'll get into it. Bye. Mateo, 2:52 a.m. The third time was not the charm. I can't even tell you if Ellie is actually a decker, but I blocked her without investigating because she spammed me with links of funny snuff videos gone wrong. I closed the app afterward. Have to admit it, I feel a little vindicated in how I've lived my life because people can be the worst. It's hard to have respectful conversation, let alone make a last friend. I keep receiving pop-up notifications for new messages, but I ignore them because I'm on the 10th level of a dark vanishing. This brutal Xbox Infinity game that has me wanting to look up cheat codes. My hero Cove, a level 17 sorcerer with fire for hair, can't advance through this poverty-stricken kingdom without an offering to the princess. So I Cove walks, past all the hawkers trying to sell off their bronze pins and rusty locks and go straight for the pirates. I must have gotten lost in my head on the way to the harbour because Cove steps on a landmine and I don't have time to ghost phase through the explosion. Cove's arm flies through a hut's window, his head rockets into the sky and his legs burst completely. My heart pounds all through the loading screen until Cove is suddenly back. Good as new. Cove's got it good. I won't be able to respawn later. I'm wasting away in here and there are 2 bookcases in my room. The blue bookcase on the bottom holds my favourite books that I could never get myself to purge when I did my monthly book donations to the teen health clinic down the block. The white bookcase on top is stacked with books I always planned on reading. I grab the books as if I'll have time to read them all. I want to know how this boy deals with a life that's moved on without him after he's resurrected by a ritual, or what it was like for the little girl who couldn't perform at the school talent show because her parents received the death cast alert while she was dreaming of pianos, or how this hero known as the People's Hope receives a message from these death cast-like prophets telling him he's going to die 6 days before the final battle, where he was the key to victory against the king of all evil. I throw these books across the room and even kick some of my favourites off their shelves because the line between favourites and books that will never be favourites doesn't matter anymore. I rush over to my speakers and almost hurl them against the wall, stopping myself at the last second. Books don't require electricity, but speakers do, and it can be all end here. The speakers and piano taught me, reminding me of all the times I rushed home from school to have as much private time as I could with my music before Dad returned from his managerial shifts at the craft store. I would sing, but not too loudly so my neighbours couldn't overhear me. I tear down a map from the wall. I have never travelled outside of New York and will never go on a plane to touch down in Egypt to see temples and pyramids or travel to Dad's hometown in Puerto Rico to visit the rainforest he frequented as a kid. I rip up the map, letting all the countries and cities and towns fall at my feet. It's chaos in here. It's a lot like when the hero in some blockbuster fantasy film is standing in the rubble of his war-ravaged village, bombed because the villains couldn't find him, except instead of demolished buildings and disintegrated bricks, there are books open face-to-face on the floor, their damaged spines poking up, while others are piled on one another. I can't put everything back together, or I'll find myself alphabetizing all the books and tapping the map back together. I swear this isn't some excuse to not clean my room. I turn off the Xbox Infinity, where Cove was respawned, all limbs together as if he didn't just explode minutes ago. Cove is standing at the start point, idly dangling his staff. I have to make a move. I pick up my phone again, reopening the last friend app. I hope I step over the people who are dangerous like landmines. Rufus, 2:59 a.m. Wish Deathcast called before I ruined my life tonight. If Deathcast hit me up last night they would have knocked me out of that dream I was having, where I was losing a marathon to some little kid on tricycles. If Death Cast hit me up 1 week ago, I wouldn't have been up late reading all the notes Amy wrote me when we were still a thing. If Deathcast called me 2 weeks ago, they would have interrupted that argument I was having with Malcolm and Tago about how Marvel heroes are better than DC heroes. And maybe I would have asked the Herald to weigh in. If Deathcast called 1 month ago, they would have killed the dead silence that came with me not wanting to talk with anyone after Amy left. But nah, Deathcast called tonight while I was pounding on Peck, which led to Amy dragging him to the duplex to confront me, which led to Peck getting the cops involved and cutting my funeral short, which led to me being 100% alone right now. None of that would have happened if Deathcast called 1 day sooner. I hear the police sirens and keep pedaling. I hope something else is happening. I give it a few more minutes before I take a breath and I take a break, stopping between a McDonald's sign and a gas station. It's mad bright, maybe kneeling over here is stupid, but staying in plain sight might be a good hiding spot. I don't know. I'm not James Bond. I don't have some guidebook on how to hide from bad guys. Shit, I'm the bad guy. I can't keep moving though. My heart is racing, my legs are on fire, and I gotta catch my breath. I sit on the curb outside the gas station. It smells like piss and cheap beer. There's graffiti of 2 silhouettes on the wall with my air pumps for bike tyres. The silhouettes are both shaped like the dude on the men's bathroom sign. An orange spray paint can, it says, "The last friend up." I keep getting dicked out of proper goodbyes. No final hug with family. No final hug with the Plutos. It's not even a goodbye. Man, it's not getting to thank everyone for all that they did for me. The loyalty Malcolm showed me this time and time again. The entertainment Tago delivered with his B-movie scripts like The Canary Clown and The Carnival of Doom and Snake Taxi. Though, Substitute Doctor was just so bad. Even for a bad movie. Francis's character's impressions had me dying so hard I begged him to shut up because my rib cage hurt. The afternoon, Jen Laurie taught me to play solitaire so I could keep myself moving, but also have alone time. The really great chat I had with Francis when we were the last 2 awake about how instead of complimenting an attractive anyone on their looks, my pickup line should be more personal because anyone can have pretty eyes, but only the right kind of person can hum the alphabet and make it your new favourite beat. The way Amy always kept it real, even just now when she set me free by telling me she wasn't in love with me. I could have really gone for the one last Pluto Solar System group hug. I can't go back now. Maybe I shouldn't have run. The charges probably went up for running, but I didn't have time to think. I've got to make this up to the Plutos. They spoke nothing but truth during their eulogies. I've messed up a bit lately, but I'm good. Malcolm and Tago wouldn't have been my boys if I weren't, and Amy wouldn't have been my girl if I were scum. They can't be with me, but that doesn't mean I have to be alone. I really don't want to be alone. I pick myself up and walk over to the wall with the graffiti and some oil-stained poster for something called Make a Moment. I stare at the last friend's silhouettes on the wall. Ever since my family died, I would have bet anything I was going to die alone. Maybe I will, but just because I was left behind doesn't mean I shouldn't have a last friend. I know there's a good Rufus in me, the Rufus I used to be, and maybe a last friend can drag him out of me. Apps really aren't my thing, but neither is beating on people's faces, so I'm already out of my element today. I enter the App Store and download Last Friend. The download is mad fast, probably a bitch on my data, but who cares? I register as a Decker, set up my profile, and upload an old photo of my Instagram, and I'm good to go. Nothing like receiving 7 messages in my first 5 minutes to make me feel a little less lonely, even though one guy is throwing some bullshit about having the cure to death in his pants, and yo, I'll take death instead. Mateo, 3:14 a.m. I adjust the settings on my profile so I'll only be visible to anyone between the ages of 16 and 18. Older men and women can no longer hit on me. I take it one step further and now only registered deckers can connect with me, so I don't have to deal with anyone looking to buy a couch or a pot. This diminishes the online numbers significantly. I'm sure there are hundreds, maybe thousands of teens who received the alert today, but there are only 89 registered deckers between the ages of 16 and 18 online right now, and I received a message from an 18-year-old girl named Zoe, but I ignore it when I see her a profile for a 17-year-old named Rufus. I've always liked that name. I click on his profile. Name: Rufus and Mateo. Age: 17. Gender: male. Height: 5'10". Weight: 169 pounds. Ethnicity: Cuban American. Orientation: bisexual. Job: professional time waster. Interests: cycling and photography. Favourite movies, TV shows and books: skip. Who you were in life: I survived something I shouldn't have. Bucket list: do it up. Final thoughts: it's about time. I've made mistakes, but I'm gonna go out right. I want more time, more lives, and this Rufus Emeterio has already accepted his fate. Maybe he's suicidal. Suicide can't be predicted specifically, but the death itself is still foreseen. If he is self-destructive, I shouldn't be around him. He might actually be the reason I'm about to clock out, but his photo clashes with that theory. He's smiling and he has welcoming eyes. I chat with him, and if I get a good vibe, he might be the kind of guy whose honesty will make me face myself. I'm going to reach out. There's nothing risky about hello. Mateo, T, 3:17 a.m. Sorry, you'll be lost, Rufus. I'm not used to reaching out to strangers like this. There have been a few times in the past I considered setting up a profile to keep deckers company, but I didn't think I could provide much for them. Now that I'm a decker myself, I understand the desperation to connect even more. Rufus E, 3:19 a.m. Hey Mateo, nice hat. He not only responded, but he likes my Luigi hat from my profile picture. He's already connected to the person I want to become. Mateo T, 3:19 a.m. Thanks. Think I'm going to leave the hat here at home. I don't want the attention. Rufus E, 3:19 a.m. Good call. A Luigi hat isn't exactly a baseball cap, right? Mateo T, 3:19 a.m. Exactly. Rufus E, 3:20 a.m. Wait, you haven't left your house yet? Mateo T, 3:20 a.m. Nope. Rufus E, 3:20 a.m. Did you just get the alert a few minutes ago? Mateo T, 3:20 a.m. Deathcast called me a little after midnight. Rufus E, 3:20 a.m. What have you been doing all night? Mateo T, 3:20 a.m. Cleaning and playing video games. Rufus E, 3:20 a.m. Which game? Rufus, 3:21 a.m. NM, the game doesn't matter. Don't you have stuff you want to do? What are you waiting for? Mateo, 3:21 a.m. I was talking to potential last friends and they were not great, is the kindest way to put it. Rufus, 3:21 a.m. Why do you need a last friend before starting your day? Mateo, 3:22 a.m. Why do you need a last friend when you have friends? Rufus, 3:22 a.m. I ask you first. Mateo, 3:22 a.m. Fair. I think it's insane to leave the apartment knowing something or someone is going to kill me. Also because there are last friends out there claiming that they have the cure to death in their pants. Rufus, 3:23 a.m. I spoke to a dick too. Not his dick exactly, but I reported and blocked him afterwards. I promise I'm better than that guy. I guess that's not saying much. Do you want a video chat? I'll send you an invite. An icon of a silhouette speaking into my phone flashes. I almost reject the call, too confused about the suddenness of this moment. But I answer before the call goes away and before Rufus goes away. The screen goes black for a second, and then a total stranger with the face Rufus has in his profile picture appears. He's sweating and looking down, but his eyes quickly find me and I feel exposed, maybe even a little threatened, like he's some scary childhood legend that can reach through the screen and drag me into a dark underworld in my overactive imagination's defense. Rufus has already tried bullying me out of my own world and into the world beyond, so Yo, Rufus says. You see me? Yeah, hey, I'm Mateo. Hey, Mateo. My bad for springing the video chat on you, Rufus says. Kind of hard to trust someone you can't see. You get me? No worries, I say. There's a glare which is a little blinding wherever he is, but I can still make out his light brown face. I wonder why he's so sweaty. You wanted to know why I prefer a last friend over my real friends, right? Yeah, I say, unless that's too personal. Nah, don't worry about it. I don't think too personal should exist between last friends. Long story short, I was with my parents and sister when a car crashed into the Hudson River, and so I had to watch them die. Living with that guilt isn't something I want for my friends. I have to throw that out there and make sure that you're okay with this. With you leaving your friends behind, no, with the chance you might have to watch me die. I'm being faced with the heaviest of chances today. I may have to watch him die unless it's the other way around, and both possibilities make me want to throw up. It's not that I feel a deep connection or anything to him already, but the idea of watching someone die makes me sick and sad and angry, and that's why he's asking. But not doing anything is hardly comforting either. Okay, yeah, I can do it. Can you? There's the whole you not leaving your house problem. Last friend or not, I'm not spending the rest of my life holed up in someone's apartment, and I don't want you to either. But you gotta meet me halfway, Mateo, Rufus says. The way he says my name is a little more comforting than the way I imagine that creep Philly would say it. It's more like a conductor giving a pep talk before a sold-out performance. Believe me, I know it can get ugly out there. Here, there was a point where I didn't think any of this was worthwhile. Well, what changed? I don't mean it to sound like a challenge, but it kind of is. I'm not leaving the safety of my apartment that easily. You lost your family, and then what? I wasn't about this life, Rufus says, looking away, and I would have been game over. But that's not what my parents and sis wanted for me. It's mad twisted, but surviving showed me it's much better to be alive wishing I was dead than dying wishing I could live forever. If I can lose it all and change my attitude, you need to do the same. Before it's too late, dude. You gotta go for it. Go for it? That's what I said on my profile. He's paid more attention than the others and cared about me the way a friend should. Okay, I said. How do we do this? Is there a handshake? Or something? I'm really hoping my trust isn't betrayed the way it's been in the past. We can get a handshake going when we meet, but until then I promise to be the Mario to your Luigi, except I won't hog the spotlight. Where should we meet? I'm by the drugstore south of... I have one condition, I say. His eyes squint. He's probably nervous about the curveball I'm throwing his way. You said I have to meet you halfway, but you need to pick me up from home. It's not a trap, I swear. Sounds like a trap, Rufus says. I'm going to find a different last friend. No, it's really not, I swear. I almost dropped the phone. I've screwed everything up. Seriously, I'm kidding, dude, he says. I'll send you my phone number and you can text me your address. Then we can come up with a plan. I am just relieved as I was when Andrea from Deathcast called me Timothy during the call. When I thought I'd actually lucked into more life, except this time it's okay to fully relax, I think. Will do, I say. He doesn't say bye or anything, he just looks at me for a little longer, likely sizing me up, or maybe questioning whether or not I'm actually luring him into a trap. See you in a bit, Mateo. Try not to die before I get there. Try not to die getting here, I say. Be safe, Rufus. Rufus nods and ends the video chat. He sends me his phone number and I'm tempted to call it to make sure he's the one who picks up and not some creep who's paying him to collect addresses of young vulnerable guys. But if I keep second guessing Rufus, this last friend business won't work. I am a little concerned about spending my end day with someone who's accepted dying, someone who's made his mistakes. I don't know him, obviously, and he might turn out to be insanely destructive. He is outside in the middle of the night on a day he's slated for death, after all. But no matter what choices we make, or solo or together, our finish line remains the same. It doesn't matter how many times we look both ways. It doesn't matter if we don't go skydiving to play it safe, even though it means we'll never get to fly like my favourite superheroes do. It doesn't matter if we keep our heads low when passing a gang in a bad neighbourhood. No matter how we choose to live, we both die at the end. And that's where we're going to stop it for this video. Smack bang on 20 minutes. Awesome. Alright, the next one we will start at part 2, The Last Friend. A ship in a harbour is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. John A. Shield. Bye.